started it, and at any moment that camera is going to turn off, because that's just what happens. This GoPro only will stream to RTMP for an hour. And I know I forgot to set it up when I turned the camera on and everything. I forgot to put the good microphone on, so we're going to deal with the bad microphone. We're in the bad place. Let's see. Project 4 part. So last week, I worked on sanding and priming the right forearm here. You can see we got the two halves here. And if I had a third arm, you can see that it's getting there. It's coming along. There we go. I kind of wear it. Of course, we got the left forearm here done. Just needs a little cleanup here and there and touch up on some of the glue, and it's for the most part good. I took this out in the sunlight, took photos of them, and I realized I hate to paint. So yeah, low light only for this. Probably wash it with a dull coat at some point. I'm just keeping tabs on the camera because RTPM streaming has a tendency to just drop, right? Like the camera will just say, that's it. And I made a bunch of changes hoping it'll fix it. I also figured out part of the audio desync that I was having last week was because I had stabilization turned on, and stabilization adds an audio delay because it captures the audio instantly, but stabilizes the video and then transmits the video. So there's that desync there. So I turned stabilization off. Maybe that'll help. That's probably part of the issues that I had with other videos. So today's project is basically to get these two components put together so they're shaped like this. I'm not going to get to the paint today. Hopefully get them put together with the elastic on the inside and then get the foam started. Now the way this fits together, if you look, this opening right here is smaller than my hand. So to get these to work, stay together, I put some elastic strap in there. You can see I can open it up, and it's a little stretchy. It's just enough that it holds it together, but just loose enough that I can get my hand in and out. After this morning, my nose was just like, hey, guess what? We're going to be running all day. So to do that, to put that elastic in there, I put the elastic in, and then I put some foam padding in there. The next thing I want to do is I want to put a buckle right here, like a strap. So when this is put on, it'll actually, not only will it slide onto my arm like so, and stay there, because the elastic is actually pressing that foam into my arm, but I want to have an elastic, or I want to have a snap right here, snap strap, so it will attach to the undersuit, because this actually slides up and down and rotates a little bit, and I want to mitigate that slide. And so putting a buckle there will help hold it in place. Just one more way of holding it all together. And to do that, I'm going to put the elastic strap in this part first. I'm going to put both halves in and then attach it to this, and then put the foam in. The foam goes in afterwards, and the idea is if the elastic is to come loose at all, it presses the foam in and at least holds the foam together. All these components work together to hold themselves on. So I got some, this is 2-inch thick, 2-inch wide. Yeah, 2-inch wide. Just elastic strap. And I'm going to put two pieces in. One's going to go here, and one's going to go here. And the whole idea is that it creates an even amount of pressure on here, pushing it here and here. I'm watching, it says 1 hour, because I turned it on an hour ago to just see how long it would go for, so. So, I'll just put this here. See right about here. Make a loop that goes around. It's about there. I thought I had fixed it, and then it's like, nope, you didn't. Just kidding, you didn't fix it. Now there's a reason why I put the glue down. I put the whole strap to go all the way through, and it's just to increase the surface area, how much area this elastic actually has to grab onto. So when it actually is in there, it's not only a short little piece that might come loose, it's a lot more material. And I'm also, basically through some of the small holes in the side, some of the gaps and places, I'm injecting some glue. I really want to make sure that there is plenty of glue holding all that in there. I'm only using hot glue. I could be using like some high temp stuff, but I'm also not really going to be wearing this like outdoors in the summer, and the most it's ever going to really experience high temperatures is like, maybe I'll throw it in the back of my car when I'm driving to LA or something, but even then it's going to be well protected inside of a duffel bag or something that's got a white sheet over it, or white duffel bag to help keep the heat out off direct sun. And it's going to be in a car that's air conditioned, so there's not really like a time that it's going to be super exposed to like 100 plus degree heat. Enough that's, it's not ever going to really be exposed to any heat that's going to be high enough that I'm going to have to worry about this glue melting. I'm just putting little beads of it down, pressing this elastic strap, and I am inverting them a little bit, so it's like the ends on this one are going to be here, and the ends on this one are going to be here. So there'll be some alternation, so all the stresses are more equally distributed throughout. almost. It's getting there. Now comes the tricky part of trying to get these lined up. And glued. What's interesting is I'm putting enough hot glue in here, I can actually feel the heat transferring through some of the plastic, the PLA. Actually, before I do that though, I do want to do one thing. I need my phone. Where is my strap? There it is. And where's my Knife? Be extra careful because I put a fresh blade on this knife. So I'm like, oh, it's good and sharp. And now it's not. It's good and sharp, you get these nice clean lines, not so much that line. What I'm doing is I'm making just a piece of filler foam to go right there. I did the same thing on the other one. And then the foam goes, or the elastic strap goes over it. And all I'm doing is taking a piece of foam that not big enough to make anything else out of, but big enough to be used for this. And just kind of getting the shape in it. Immediately take those little straps that aren't big enough to really be used for anything, put them right in the recycle bin. Yeah, see right there. Just like that. Doesn't have to be pretty, just has to fit. Press it in there. And it's actually going to do a couple things. One, it's basically just, it's filling that void. But also, it's bridging this gap right here, just adding just one more layer of structural strength right here. And yes, all this I'm going to actually get some of the thinner craft foam and fill this in and make it look real nice. This is all internal, so I didn't bother, that's why it's not sanded or anything. I just put Bondo on there to, again, make this piece stronger on the inside, since this is a 3D print. Now to put just like that. Oh no! Knocked over my figure. I'm like, I remember how I don't remember how I did it for that other one, how I made the other piece. I remember I did something to like hold it all together, and I don't remember what I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some blue painter's tape here and just use the blue painter's tape to hold it in the shape, and I'm just pressing all the tape down, making sure it's really getting good adhesion. What's nice about the painter's tape is it's not going to damage the primer here when I peel it off, especially since this primer is now 2 weeks dry, a week and a half dry, something like that. And it's also been sun dried. I left it out in the sun for like an hour. Not direct sunlight, but outside in a shady spot, but where it was hot and could really bake it. All right. That is a forearm. We're done. Everything's 100% done. It's perfect. Best cosplay ever. Had a bottle of water. Where to put it? Just trying to strategize, like, how am I gonna get the hot glue in there, you know? There's so much room. And it's also really hard to show it because of the camera angle. So I apologize in advance. Hot glue stick got jammed. There we go. This is the part that sucks, because I have hot glue between the fabric and my hands now. Or no, I have a piece of fabric between hot glue that's cooling and my hands. The hands actually act like an insulator and keep that glue from cooling fast enough and solidifying. So it's like I'm trying to hold it in place and I can't because it's burning my hands. Try and get airflow in there, the cool air at least, to try and get that glue to cool down faster. There we go. That's what I was trying to think. I had Word and then forgot Word. It's not pretty. I might actually peel it off and redo this one piece here. I still have so I do two straps, one at the back and one at the front. I still have the front one to attach as well. I need a clamp. I got them. Yeah, make this a little easier, hopefully. I feel like this lower one went on much easier. Should probably have done the same thing with the top one. Might take the top piece off and redo it. I got the bottom one in there, and I'm happy with how the bottom one turned out. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm trying to get the top one out. I'm not happy with it. There we go. So the glue is strong enough that it holds up to the work that it needs to do, but if you do apply enough force, it will come loose. So it's definitely strong enough in this method of attaching. It's definitely strong enough that it will hold up to wear, and it's also just weak enough that if I screw something up like I just did, I can easily peel it off and remove it. You know, trying to get some of these big globs off. I'm stretching the fabric to hopefully get the glue to break off the fabric. And then just peeling it off as it peels off, flakes off. Mistakes happen, you know. Live and learn. It's been just a year since I put that piece together. So, actually, I don't know how long it's been since I put that piece together, that other one together. So, it's understandable that I forgot how I did it. I'm also putting real consideration into whether or not I keep doing these streams. I'm having issues with the camera, and streaming on my days off is actually a little frustrating. So it's like, oh man, it's my day off. I don't want to do this. I want to do something else. Oh, but I already committed. This might be the last one, and then we'll just do like vlog updates on this build as I go along. There we go. Nope, I already did that wrong. I'm gonna go find the other piece. Now I notice, I just cut this, measured it the same length as this, and this was actually too short, but look, it's got a fold, so this is actually a little longer. Set that aside. I'm going to do like what I did with this one. I'm going to put it here and then glue the ends up here first. So I'm going to glue it in the middle. Although the middle is actually going to be right there. Oh, that's warm. That's really warm. I put a lot of glue right there, too. Oh, there's some more fingers. I actually burnt my hand yesterday at work. I was picking up a piece of metal off the ground, and I realized it'd been sitting in the sun because it was in the shade. And I grabbed it like this to lift, and I had just this hand on it. I was using this hand to hold something else. And as I pulled this up, I could feel something painful in my hand, and then I'm like, oh, that's my hand burning. And there's a burn right here on my hand. I'm putting a lot of glue and I'm putting a lot of strap in there. The idea is I want to have just the largest possible surface area of glue to distribute the force that the strap is going to be applying on it. So even if this glue isn't the strongest hot glue in the world, it makes up for it by just being a lot of it. I also have to kind of be careful not to put the glue near the edges. So actually, I have to leave a little bit of play there, so there's some stretch in the fabric before the glue before like it starts getting to where the glue's holding it in. That was a sign of me putting my hand directly on hot glue. I'm gonna let everything cool for a minute. Let that cool for a minute. While that's cooling, I'm going to start prepping internal components. I'm looking at the other one to see how the old one, the first one. See how that one's put together. Hand. And about wide. Because this is internal components, I'm not being too overly concerned with getting the measurements exact. I'm just hand shaping this piece. These are just the pieces that are going to go inside this. I know it's hard to see, and I apologize, but Just mirroring what I built on the other side. And because of this shape right here, I have to put a piece of filler foam right there, and that's what this is. That's the face of someone who has hot glue burning their thumbs. You can see the internal structure starting to take a little shape there. I'll show it here in a second. It's just breezy enough outside that I can see the shadow of the tree in the backyard moving, and I keep thinking there's somebody in my backyard. There we go. Internal structure's starting to come together. Yes, I know. I realize I'm cutting the wrong direction. I'm pulling the blade towards me. I should not be doing that. Or should I just be standing out of the path of the blade? Especially since it is a fresh, sharp blade. It is a very sharp blade. I just put a new one on there the other day. I'm just hand shaping these. I could go get the heat gun and heat this, but I think that's applying a sufficient amount of shaping to it. I guess I can peel the painter's tape off of there. I kind of want to wait until I have all this foam in and I know everything's cooled and cured before I start trying to stretch it, since I know there's some slop in it right now. And that foam is going to take care of some of that slop. Trimming thin little strips off here to make it fit. that's glued in there. Wrong arm. It is wearable. It's still loose though. And I know why. Piece of foam right there. That should actually do it. Just gotta get that piece of foam in there now. Oh boy, without burning my hands too badly. Go. I don't know, cool for a little bit. This one I don't think turned out as good as the other one in terms of that elastic. I think I didn't quite do it tight enough in some spots. But I'm kind of at that point where I just want to get this done. And again, I'll come back. I'll probably take this apart in, you know, a year and redo it. There's that. I want to get this done. I want to do it right, but I also don't want to spend 6 years working on one piece. And this is like, this has been, this and the chest with two pieces that have stressed me out, trying to get them some semblance of like good. See, it's not lined up right there. It should be more like that. But oh, it feels good to wear it. Yeah, it fits on there right. Got one piece I'm gonna change up though. piece of just a small piece right here. Oh, that's better. That is much better. Putting that one piece here, because this is it's just torqued just enough. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. This one goes on much easier. The finished one goes on much easier and much more comfortably. But it'll take a little bit of adjustment, but wait. Can you do one thing? How to test is, can I hold a Nerf gun? And the answer is yes, I can. Cool. I might take this one apart though and redo it. And if I redo, I'm going to 100% pattern it off of this one, because this one just feels, this one feels a little better. But next step is to hit this with the black. Unplug the hot glue gun so I don't burn the house down. I use so much of this black. So I'm going to go hit this with the first coat of black. We'll be back in a moment. Alright, first coat of black is done. I'm going to let it outside to dry because it's got to vent off all that spray paint gas. And I'm going to give it a light sanding after it's done drying. There are a couple places where this can is running out and getting clogged. And there are a couple spots where it went and there's bumps. So I'm just like, ugh. But, go over to the computer. But yeah, I'm going to I'm gonna call it a day here. And you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna really think about it. See if I want to keep doing these kinds of streams. They're not really fun, and they're difficult. There's just so much that goes into it. But yeah, we'll be back this Friday for another Run 8 stream at the normal time. And check the Facebook page, Fairwind Gaming.